haircut. I'll have to get a haircut. Chris is home. Let's see, best way to go here. Alright. Going out to the barber college at my old junior college. See if I can't get a cheap haircut. Do a little driving video here in Dixie. My YouTube channel's been coming on pretty strong since I got back to paying attention to it. I'm not going to be here in Mississippi too much longer. Making plans to move about halfway to my final destination, or one of my perceived final destinations in Colorado. I can get back to Colorado Springs maybe, or maybe in Seattle, somewhere out there in the great Northwest mountain area. A little less humidity, a little more culture. It's been beautiful here the last few days. I was 91 on Sunday. It was ridiculous. I think it's about 80 something today. Got issues with this car not charging, so I'm going to try and suffer through with no air conditioning for this short ride out to the college. Take about 15 minutes, something like that. I've got to get on it because I have to be there before 1 o'clock. I'm not even sure what time it is, probably about 12:20. Took a few extra minutes to set the camera mount up in the car so I could get this video. Looks like I got the sun going the right direction for a good morning video here. Mazda, 98 Mazda, 181,000 miles on it. It runs good. It's just got a little charging issue right now. I'm currently in negotiations to possibly repurchase it. I'm not 100% sure of that at this point. I'm a little leery of the charging stuff, and then it's got problems popping out of fifth gear. And nothing that, and of course the motor's strong. I changed the oil in it the other day and put a new filter in it. It's running good, but I can't take off in this car heading across country with a charging problem, and it's proved to be something that we haven't been able to self-diagnose. I went by AutoZone yesterday and they put their Lumiere on it and told me everything was okay with it, but it isn't. I got home yesterday and put the battery charger on it, and it took a pretty good amount of time to recharge the battery, so I don't know what the issue is. I'll check it again when I get home. But it's just one of those things. And of course, I'm still without work. Just got my paperwork, my driver's license, and all that good stuff so I could get a job. And now I was going to use this car, but this car is not going to be reliable enough at this point. So I've just kind of had my fill with Mississippi, and been down here since the middle of December, and I've just decided to go ahead. It's just me and my dog, rambling, gambling, and living life, and it's a kind of a carpe diem deal at this point. I'm not sure what's going to happen. I guess you guys can ride along with me and find out. It's one of those deals. I expect I'll be able to make my way somehow, some way. It's been tough since my wife died last September, and I had to come back to America, basically, you know, with my dog and 4 suitcases. My Nazi mother-in-law, seriously, she was in Hitler's Youth Corps. A lot of people think I'm exaggerating when I say that, but basically got chased out of the country. I could have hung in as I she couldn't have chased me out. We were living upstairs in her house taking care of her, and German law was such that I'd been there long enough and we'd been paying all the bills, and she really wouldn't have been able to, but I didn't want to have to live under that kind of that kind of pressure. To me is more of a hassle than just starting over back here in America. And what really fucked me up was flying back into the country on the last day of my passport, so that when I went to the driver's license office the next day, they looked at me like, well, who are you? You don't have any ID. I was like, what? And it took me a couple of months to get my passport, redone by mail. And then I had to get my driver's license, and I've done all this on a spit and a prayer, and had to support myself with what little bit of money I brought back with me for the last several months. And I just don't want to get stuck down here in Mississippi. I'd rather be stuck somewhere else. I have a soft place to land in the Midwest, a waypoint, if you will. Try and collect myself up and see what I can do. I'm not trying to become, the next great salesman for IBM or any kind of real corporate work because of my age and instability right now. So I'll find, some minimum wage job or better to float me over this hump. And if I get out to Colorado, maybe I get a job in the cannabis industry somewhere, I don't know, or something else. Because apparently they have a lot of jobs there in that industry. I mean, Mississippi has basically none. It's the asshole of the world. So I'm trying just to get back to where I was when I was in the service. I love Colorado Springs. I love Colorado. I'm even considering going all the way up to the Pacific Northwest and Seattle or some place like that, because the mass transit there is such that I could get by without even having a car, and the wages are a lot better. So I could get depressed about it all, and I guess I could be suicidal by it all. A lot of people are that are in my position, but I actually look at it as a challenge. I had some good friends down here in the South that have given me room and board over the winter. Kind of over-weathered here. Now that the sun is back out again, I'm wanting to get out of here before I get mired in the mess down here. And so I'm going to be halfway between where I want to be when I land and in the Midwest. So we'll see how that goes. Everything's a gamble. There's no guarantees on anything, but keep your wherewithal and do the best you can, and me and Bandit are gonna be all right, I reckon. I figure you guys can ride shotgun with me on social media, those of you who are interested in such things. I watch a lot of these people that are living in their vans and their RVs. I got interested in, well, my wife and I both got interested in the tiny home movement. We were planning to build a little tiny home and move to Prague to get away from the Nazi mother and run our English business in Prague instead of in Germany. And then, of course, she got sick, had kind of a lingering year and a half bout with cancer that didn't end successfully for her and for me. She didn't suffer. I'm proud of the fact that she was in Germany, and they have excellent health care there, and she was well cared for. I have nothing but good things to say about the German people in general and about the German system. It's just I never got permanent residency status while I was there for 5 years. My wife had just gotten permanent residency status, and I would have gotten it based on that if she would have lived a few more months and we could have gotten the paperwork. I don't know if I could make it in Germany without her. She spoke half a dozen languages, and she was a salesperson and the chief cook and bottle washer in our business. So I gave the business over to my stepson, and I don't know if he's going to be able to manage it either, but he seemed more enthused about it than I was, so we'll see. In the meantime, I'm starting over here in America, and I wish I had a van that I could live in down by the river. Maybe that's Yeah, I'd be happy at this point. I really want to get some kind of little tiny house. I wasn't ever too keen on the mobile tiny home deal. I want to find a little spot somewhere that I can bunker down and build maybe an off-grid solar cabin of some sort. The land will be cheaper if I don't have to have utilities to it, and I'm competent enough in construction and jack of all, master of none, that I believe I can pull it off for a limited amount of money. Not looking to build a castle, not looking to build a kingdom, just some place to live out my golden years, and we'll see how successful I am. I haven't had a haircut since a couple days before I left Germany, which was the 3rd of November last year, so I'm getting kind of shaggy, and I want to go ahead and get that taken care of while I've got a couple bucks to do it. So that's where I'm going. I've been up and down this road many times here when I was going to junior college out here, and there's some beautiful homes along this route. I don't know, you probably won't be able to see them because they're set back, but the thing about Mississippi that's so damning is there might be a $500,000 house or two on this road right next to a trailer. I mean, the zoning out here is ridiculous, and it really detracts from the environment to where I don't know, I guess you have to have a stomach for it. I really don't. I need something. I'm so used to the tidiness and efficiency of the Germans that to come back down here to Mississippi is basically just a survival mode for me over the winter. Beautiful house over there, the lake. Not suffering too much from the heat this morning. I tend to do better in the heat than I do in the cold. Spent most of my youth up in the Midwest in very inclement, harsh winters, and made money shoveling sidewalks and driveways, and got frostbite a time or two, to where it just takes a little bit of chill to get my hands and feet to throbbing and or numb or cramping. So kind of enjoy the heat. The heat's not as big of a problem to me down here as the culture and the lack of economic development. I've got to do some, if I get a chance, I'll get downtown and see what's happened down there in terms of growth. There were a lot of unfinished projects that had been unfinished for decade prior to me leaving, and I've been gone for 5 years. I'd be curious to see if they've even advanced any of those. I mean, the pace of change around here is generally slow and or negative. Thank the Republican takeover of the South for the poor economic condition of the average person. There's great wealth here. The former slave owners and plantation owners, I'm sure, that with deep pockets are profiting quite handsomely. Now let's see here. Let's see if I can't get across the highway here without getting run over. Here comes Bubba in his monster truck. Jesus. Is he towing? Yeah, he's towing. Okay. Well, that looks real comfortable to ride in, dude. All right. Get halfway out here. Let's go. Gotta catch this light. I don't want to get a ticket out here. They love giving tickets around here, especially in these highways where the colleges are located. Bleed the poor kids. Of course, the kids are out here racing to school to get on time, and they probably do need to keep an eye on them. This wasn't 2-lane road when I went to college out here, and they averaged about 1 death per semester on this highway. I don't know what the situation is now. I'm sure it's probably better. They got 65 out here. That's amazing. Wow. Let's make sure we're in this stretch. park and just hoof it across campus. It's not that big a deal. I came out here last week. This is actually my second trip out here. Last week I came out here, and it was a ghost town because it was spring break. You know, I didn't know that. This is actually the first day of back from spring break, and that the barber college is open. So we'll give these kids a run for their money out here today. I guess I'll have to do before and after pictures so that we can get a feel for what this is going to be. Alright, it's a little bit farther than the closest barber shop would have been back in town, but then on the other hand, it's 50 cents to get a haircut out here. So yeah, there's that. I'll miss that. But I always try and find a barber college somewhere because they need to practice, and I'm not that particular, and my hair will grow out. I find that the students will do a better job generally than some of these barbers because they're in such a hurry, and you know, they don't care. The kids are getting graded and evaluated, so you know, they take they're more patient, and they take more interest in doing a good job. Now, you know, your mileage may vary on that. I don't know if I was a woman who, you know, had a special hairstyle or something like that, or I don't know if they do perms and all that kind of thing out here, but you know, that would be something that you might be a little bit more leery of if your hair is that super important to you. Mine, you know, I like my hair, don't get me wrong, I don't, but I'm not, it's not, I don't have that many people to impress at this point. I don't think my dog is going to kick me out of bed if I come home with a bad haircut. Let's see here, I am going to have to go